You know, last year, one of my old students came to talk, right? And with the grade 9 subject choices. And he was someone who always struggled. He was not one of the 80 learners, right? He struggled. And then he went and he got into BCom accounting. He started studying BCom accounting. And he was a matric in 2018. Ne? And only last year did he start with his CTA, his honors. So it took him 2019, 20, 21, 22, it took him quite a lot of years before he got to his CTA. But he didn't give up. Ne? He's now busy with his CTA. And the advice that he gave makes a lot of sense to me. The advice that he gave is, when you feel in a place where it's too much, because the information is so much and you do not know where to start and what to do, choose something. Choose something and become a specialist in that. Once you're a specialist in that topic, then you move to the next one. So what I think it's a brilliant thing to do. When you look at this test, so if I look at this test, the first part is all about fixed assets, right? So some of you are really good in fixed assets, you got it. Depreciation is your thing. But most people, when it gets to asset disposal, then they start, calculations makes you use too much time. The net profit, the wrong net profit that you need to fix, this is a thing that steals time, because you need to think a lot, okay? And you need to, and with this one, it's very easy to lose marks if your signs are wrong. But when I get to 1.3, and they talk about the ordinary share capital, the retained income, and the balance sheet, I know there's a lot of marks. So you guys need to learn, yes, if you take a paper, you don't just start with number 1 and work through till number last. You already know, you always start with the easy one. But even inside the question, you go look for the part that you know is easy. So we all want to finish the whole paper, right? But start with the part where you know you can earn the easiest marks. So I would suggest you leave this first two and you start with the share capital, the retained income, and the balance sheet. And that is what you're going to practice now. That's what you're going to practice. If you did very bad in this test, this is the things you're going to practice. This thing only comes 15 marks out of the 75. Can you see that? But I can promise you, most of you spent about at least 20 minutes on this. Okay, so start with your share capital. If you look at your share capital, what did I teach you? You go look, did they give me any information about capital? And you'll see there will be a heading. And the heading will say ordinary shares. So there's my ordinary shares. So let's start with that one. So they say I start out with 2.5 million, which they already printed for me. Oh, I'm sorry. This is now going to be small, but you do have your... I'm going to keep the question paper small because you've got it in front of you. Okay. Now, if I look here, they say 1st of March, 2.5 ordinary shares. 31st, we repurchase. Don't swap. It can be issue repurchase or it can be repurchase issue. You do it according to the dates. Don't go decide you like to do the issue first and then the repurchase, because in this case we repurchase first, right? So it's the repurchase and it's in a bracket. And what is 4% of the issued shares? Meaning I need to take that 2.5 million and I need to get 4% of that. And that's going to give me what? 100,000. So that's 100,000. And you put it in a bracket because it's going out of the business. Okay? Then I know the next one is going to be my issue. You just write issue. And now they say 500,000 new shares were issued. And now I can calculate. 2.5 less 1 plus 5 is going to give me 2.9. So, now let's go to the rands. Can you see they give me no rands of a day old? But what do they give me? They give me balances. And if I go look at my ordinary share capital, can you see they give me an opening and a closing? They give it to me. Okay, so my opening is 10 million. And my closing they already put in. Now I'm asking you, does it matter how much I paid for the repurchase shares if I'm doing share capital? Does it matter that I paid 6 Rand 10 for it? No, because I'm not going to show the 6 Rand 10 in here. I'm going to show the average price. Okay, and this is why it's important to have my things in the right orders. Go on. So this is why it's important for you to have your order right. Because if you look here, can you see I'm now looking for, I can't pick it up. Yes. Can you see if you look there, it's the opening and the repurchase. Nothing happens between the opening and the repurchase. Can you see that? So it means that if I say 10 million divided 2.5, I'm going to get the average price. Ne? And the average price cannot change because nothing happened in between. You see? That's how I get the 4 Rand. And so that 4 Rand times 100,000 gives me 400,000. And now obviously only one is missing. So this is going to be a bagel because we're going to balance. So you're going to say 10.6 plus 400 minus 10, and it gives me 600, 200,000? No, 600. 1 million. Ooh, I am so lost. Okay, now what I want you to do, if you did not get 6 out of 6 for this, this is the first thing you're going to practice. You're going to practice this one, till you get 6 out of 6. Because that is going to install in you how it works. Because what do you always struggle with? This. Yes, baby. Okay, so the question is, what if it was the issue first and then the repurchase? Can you see now the same would be true? Let me just write it down here. If it's open, issue, repurchase, close. Can you see now exactly the same is true? Nothing happened after repurchase. So it means if I take that Rand of the closing and I divide it by the units, I'm going to get the average. And that average would be my repurchase average. You see? That's why it's important. Or, if they don't give you the closing, you know, the opening plus the issued, those totals, if I divide that, I get the average. Does that make sense? So now let's go to retained income. Yes?
Ma'am, how did you get the 10 million?
What 10 million? This one.
Yeah.
I got it here at the opening balance. Oh, this thing is cute. Okay. Happiness.
What about when they don't give us the opening or the closing of the balance sheet at the beginning.
What if they didn't give that? Then they have to give you something else. They can't just expect that you can. You have to have something to work with. So if they didn't give me this, let's say they gave me this, but they didn't give me that, then they would have to give me the issued so that I can reverse. Or they were supposed to tell me then what the average was. Because if they told me what the average was, I know 2.5 times 4 gives me 10. Can you see, they can't just take all the information away. So, if I look at retained income, and guys and girls, hear me clearly. Ordinary share capital and retained income notes will be in every paper, either question 1 or question 2 with the cash flow. There's no doubt about it, so please go sit on your butt and learn the format. Learn the format. So that balance, the beginning of the year, it's the balance of what? Oh, we are doing the retained income. So it's the balances of the retained income. Right? So in other words, if I go look here, they give me the opening balance, not the closing. So they printed it already. Then, it's net profit after tax. Ne? And then, it is the repurchase of shares above average. And this is a bracket. The dividends is a bracket. You can literally just write dividends. You don't have to write ordinary share. Okay. Now, the net profit after tax, we haven't done it yet. Ne? That would be the amount after I fix the net profit. It would be that one there. This would be, in other words, the one at the bottom of your income statement. Right. Sharp. They like to ask UK here, where they would say, they would give you the net profit, they would give you the income tax and say the tax is 30%. Then you know the net profit after tax is 70. So then it would be 70 over 30. They like doing that. Okay. But now we can't fill that one in because we decided to do this first. Ne? The repurchase of shares above average. Now I worry about how much I pay. And how much did I pay? I paid R6.10. So R6.10 is what I paid. The average, remember, I calculated the average as 4. So what is more than average? 210. So please, guys, how they mark this is they will always give one accuracy, one principle. And that principle, they will always go look at your calculation. And what's your calculation? It's the amount of shares that you bought back times the above average. And the thing is, if you have one of those two right, you get already the bagel. You get me? So this is going to be 210. Now they ask me my interim and my final. So let's go look. So sometimes they will give you the interim in your trial balance. And that would be here at the nominal accounts. They will say dividends on ordinary shares. That is always your interim. This case, they didn't. Okay? What did they do? They say 20 cents interim declared and paid 1st of August. Now if you go look at your dates, can you see 1st of August is before the repurchase. So I'm going to work on the 2.5 million. So it's 2.5 million times 20 cents. And that's going to give me what? 500,000 or 50? 500. Okay. And I marked it like this. Also, 1, 2. Did I give accuracy marks? 1, 2, or did I give? Listen, let's go on. So now, the final dividend. They say, what was the final dividend? Remember, the only thing they say it's 21 cents. So, but I almost did this thing here. So I know it's on 2.9. So you say 2.9 times 21 cents, and what does that give you? Say again. 609. Okay. I cannot complete this thing because I don't have that amount there, but I can complete this. Okay. Now, I know I need to do a balance sheet. Now, did you know that that amount there, is going to go here to shareholders for dividends? Because here you show the final. So the 609. Right. You guys with me? Okay. This thing is still hanging. Okay, let's go on. Next one. Now I'm here in the statement of financial whatever. Now I'm firstly going to look. What is short here? Oh, I see inventory and I see cash is not written in. Okay. Then for my easy marks, I'm going to go to my list of balances. Let's have a look. We've done the capital. I can see. Retained income, I'm still waiting because I haven't finished it. Okay. Then I see there's a loan with an opening balance. Okay. Let's go look at my loan. What do I know about my loan? They only give me non-current there. So you just write in there loan. You owe me. You owe me bank. Don't you think I was original? You owe me bank. Okay. And what do I want? I want the closing less the short term. Right. So now I want to see. What did they give me here? They gave me the opening. They didn't give me the closing. But can you see here at number F, they gave me the loan statement. It's something I've been working with since grade 11. So let's go look. They say, repayments for the year is inclusive of interest, but they don't tell me how much. Interest is 234, and 270 of the loan will be repaid next year. So now already I said, oh, before I forget, minus 270, because that's going to be a tick, and it's a short-term loan. Short-term loan, the other words that they use is the current portion of the loan. So already I got 2 ticks there. Oh yes, and for this test I gave 2 bagels if you used the final. Can you see? Now I want to know what is the closing balance. So what's the only option left for me? The only option left for me is to draw a T. I'm going to do a T for the loan. Right? And I'm going to say opening and a closing and a bank and an interest on loan. I know the opening is 1.8 because it's given in the trial balance. I know the interest is 234 because they told me. Okay. Now, what do they say? Interest is 30% of the total repayment. So the repayment is 100. I got 30. This bank here is my repayment, the opening less the closing, plus the interest. Gives me that bank. Because I pay back on the loan and I pay interest. Now they tell me that interest, that 234,000 is 30% of the total that I paid. Let's go on here. So now, can you see I can get the 100% bank. So what is my bank?
780,000.
And if I got the bank, what can I calculate? The closing. So I say opening plus interest less bank gives me closing. And I literally gave a mark for each one if I could see it. So what was the closing? 125,400. And then this worked out 9 what? And can you see this is stuff you can do. Don't lie to yourself. You can do this. Okay. Now, let's quickly go look. What is the next thing I see? I see fixed assets at carry value. It's already written in. I see fixed deposit 1.5. Now, I always know with the fixed deposit, there's going to be something that matures. So the mature part goes to cash. Fixed deposit mature is going to go to cash. Fixed deposit that does not mature goes here. Okay, so what do they say here? They say 2/3 of the fixed deposit will mature. So my fixed deposit is 1.5 million. Ne? So if I say 1.5 million, ne? Only 1/3 doesn't mature, which gives me 500,000. Meaning 1 million is going to mature. You understand? So the next one is the trading stock. So I'm going just to